Welcome to Storyphile. Nice crowd. As you guys came in, it was so nice to see every one of you. Wow, it's become a regular homecoming every Thursday, first Thursday of the month. If you don't show up, I get real upset. So I'm glad you're here. It's great to have you. Glad to have you newcomers here too. And hope you will continue to come whenever you possibly can. We don't hold it against you if you don't show up, but we're always happy to see you when you get here. Storyphile is a production of Public Works Improvisational Theater Company. We've been in business since 1974. We do theater, music, storytelling, all kinds of different events all over Los Angeles. So we do a lot of stuff right out of Art Chair, which has kind of become our home the last few years. So it's just great to have you all here, and let's just give yourselves a big hand. You're going to be doing that a lot tonight. We've got a really great show lined up for you. When I was about, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years old, I can remember sitting in the back of a Hudson, 1950 Hudson automobile, at a railroad light, and a train was going by, and of course it was carrying lumber and cars and tractors and sugar beets and regular tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. This was in the Sacramento Valley. There were also men on that car, lots of them, riding along on the box cars. You could see them standing around on the flat cars or sitting on the flat cars, dangling their feet off the side. Even in the boxcars, when the windows were open or the door was open on the other side, you could see the men even inside the boxcars. My brothers and I played a little game of counting the men, seeing who could count the most men. Mom and Dad said they were bums, but the men themselves called themselves stiffs, as in working stiffs. And that ride in the boxcars started in the early 1900s, when work was very, very scarce. You know, a job meant you worked 56 hours a day for like $1 or $2 a day if you were lucky. Whether it was in a mine, in a field, in a factory, wherever it might be. These itinerant workers tried to follow the job. Sometimes it was at sea. Sometimes it was, you know, and some of them became very political because as they rode these trains up and down the state and even across the United States, these young men who Mom and Dad said were bums, who called themselves working stiffs. If they made some money where they were, they took that money to get to where they had to be next or where they heard there might be a job. And as they rode that train from town to town, sometimes they had to jump off the train, like in Roseville, California. They had to jump off the train and go around the town or go through the town on foot because there were police-sanctioned goons on those trains who had a right to bop them in the head, throw them in a ditch, steal all their money, and leave them for dead. And it happened a lot of times to young men. In fact, it happened so much that these young men began to get themselves organized a little bit. Not only that, they'd hear about a job that paid they needed 300 men up there in Spokane, and they were in San Pedro. They hopped the train, rode all the way to Spokane just to find out that the job was a one-day job that you had to pay the guy that gave you the job. You got fired at the end of the day, and somebody else got the job the next day and had to pay for the job that day, and that was how the jobbers were making money off the stiffs. So that didn't set too well either. One of the young workers was a fellow by the name of Joe Hill. How many of you heard of Joe Hill? Yeah. Everybody heard of Joe Hill. He was a working man. He was from Sweden. And he was a hard worker. He traveled with these guys, and he was a very, well, let's just say he was a revolutionary personality because he got into being an agitator, and he was interested in helping to organize these men. And so the first organization known as the Wobblies began in Spokane, Washington, and Joe Hill was the secretary-treasurer of the Wobblies. Not only that, but Joe Hill was a wonderful musician. His mother had played piano as he grew up. He learned every kind of song there was, and he loved to put words that had meaning to him and to workers to the song. So much so that he created a little red songbook that had all kinds of songs in it. Many of them he had written. And that songbook was used by the organizers all across the United States. For example, in Massachusetts, when they had the big Bread and Roses strike, there were 24 different dialects spoken, 24 different languages literally spoken in that strike, when they all quit working at the factory because they had struck already for they were working a 56-hour week. They had struck, got a 54-hour week, and then the factory owners sped up the machines so that they could get 56 hours out of them in 54 hours. Good idea, huh? But the workers didn't think it was such a hot idea. And one day, like combustion, the Italians took out their knives and cut the conveyor belts, and everybody, all the women, boys and girls, and a lot of them were boys and girls, 12 to 14 years old, because there weren't laws against even child labor then. And they all surged into the streets of this Massachusetts city and started singing. And they started singing out of this little red book, so that the songs they sang, they could all sing in one language, which they had been taught down at the Union Hall by these Wobblies. So, we'll try to tell you some more stories about the Wobblies as we go on. But right now, my minions are going to pass among you and give each one of you a song, and we're all going to sing this song. Oh, you've already got it. Okay. Well, let's sing it then. You want to stand up and sing? It's more fun if you stand up. More like church or a Union Hall meeting, which was very close to the same thing. And this particular song has a church tune to it in the great by and by. It's called The Preacher and the Slave by Joe Hill. Okay. Long-haired preachers come out every night, try to tell you what's wrong and what's right. But when asked how about something to eat, they will answer with voices so sweet, you will eat by and by in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay, there'll be pie in the sky when you die. All right, let's pick it up. The Starvation Army, they play, they sing and they clap and they pray, till they all get your coin on the drum. Then they tell you when you are on the bum, you will eat by and by in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay, there'll be pie in the sky when you die. All right, now let's really pick it up. Holy rollers and jumpers come out. They holler, they jump, and they shout. Give your money to Jesus, they say. He will cure all your needs today. If you fight hard for children and wife, try to get something good in this life. You're a sinner and bad man, they tell. When you die, you will sure go to hell. Working folks of all countries unite. Side by side, we for freedom will fight. When the world and its wealth we have gained, to the grafters we'll sing this refrain. You will eat by and by when you've learned how to cook and how to fry. Chop some wood, it'll do you good, and you'll eat in the sweet by and by. Woo! you. All right. I think we're just going to bring a really nice young fella up here. I worked with him not long ago down in Culver City at a gig, and I'm really happy to have him here. He's a fine young poet and a fine young fella. Can you see me? Okay, because I can't see you anymore. Okay, we're going to bring up Bobby Movemiento Strahan. Give him a big hand.
Relative to none. Numerically, an exponential sum. A friend of the gun. A gun to my friends. You see, they never felt all that safe in my presence. I'm a reckless apprentice with a death wish. I'm driving. Who's riding shotgun in this bitch? Committed to my grin. Commitment, a sin. Misunderstood upon first impressions. It's just the cost of doing business. Look at my lips when I spit. Witness the listen. Never listen to a witness, because that's some snitch shit. I'm a sick prick with bolts out my neck, and they're kind of loose. Who's got a wrench? You? Manny, shoot this piece of shit. I'm not down with tightened perspectives. You see, Sailor Jerry's the therapist. He always gives me the perfect trajectory, so I'm bearing it. Crossing that sea of suck. And if it was one of rum, and I was a duck, I'd sink to the bottom and I'd never come back up. That's what's up, yo. That's just what's good. Concrete boots when you're not doing what you should. Better yet, when you're doing what you shouldn't. Running amok, you fucking hooligan, running stick-ups with a pistol with no bullets. It's just too close to too real for this community. You must be out of town, kid. Here's the wallet. Go ahead, take it. I'm sorry, the old me happens to visit from time to time over every glass of occasional wine or every single Mickey's that kisses me. Keep your opinion quiet, because if I wanted it, I'd just watch more TV. That's so Maury, not even cognitive or critical of the processes, the next of which is elimination. I devastate radio airplay, power outage, freak out. You don't want to read or think out loud, let's put it down. You don't want to write, rhyme, fuck, or fight around me and my natural abilities. All these things I do to keep my sanity. Insane, right? Like saving me is just daily life. There's a loss of control behind the controls. I'm 5 fucked up Power Rangers drunk on homemade alcohol. Bruno to Mars, time for liftoff, Houston. We got a problem. There's an astronaut with an Autobot bartending and there's a loss of control behind the controls. I'm 5 fucked off Power Rangers drunk on homemade alcohol. Bruno to Mars, time for liftoff, Houston. We got a problem. There's an astronaut with an Autobot bartending its last call on this planet. Time to abandon it. Drunk and smashing, headed for Saturn. Shuttle parked in my front yard like fuck. I hate when that shit happens. Last night must have been a blast, man. Did you catch that? Quick, like a chick's hatchet. Sober up, mousey, you're dragging. I'm trying to walk with you. Walk on juice. Swallow through a noose. Cheat on a muse and credit the blues. I'm pissing on the man on the moon. It's just another night thinking like one flew over the cuckoo. Somebody get me my beanie. It's fucking freezing out here in the Milky. Way outside the boundaries. Sounding off the astounding pounding of my heart. I call it passion. Real, raw, and rowdy. Unguided like a tomahawk laws. Obliterating craters. Changing the landscape. I'm killing the players. I'm an interstellar slayer. Crosshairs targeted to your ears, prepare to die. Watch the confetti fall from my 45. I call it rhyme. And normally, I'm the poet. But lately, you've had me feeling like a character in one of Homer's poems on some strung out journey home, trying to end up back in your arms. Coming up on sirens and cyclops, a bunch of stupid arguments and hot topics. We're both eggshell walking, and it's become that our biggest problem is simple, but it's impossible to solve it. I hate that I can't be with you. You hate that you can't be with me. And that hate has us becoming enemies. The distance between is intangible, but the reason that this love has become a vampire, sucking, and it's changing me, it's changing you, individually, one-on-one, but we're both here to win. Committed to slay this dragon of time and distance, though neither one of us is all that quite sure of how we should approach it. So mostly, I just sit back and reminisce. I still remember our first kiss. I remember everything from the lake to Memphis. But if I knew back then that this was going to end up a relationship Goliath, I don't think I'd audition for the part of David. Everything is growing and my confidence is lacking. I'm not sure that I came equipped with what I need to slay this, because you're all gone. I'm left here all alone. And here's what's left of our happy home. She'll be back, that's what I say, 'cause I need you, baby. All right, that was another one. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's see. I'll do this one. What can I say? I'm just a Big mess, an insecure pile of skin and flesh. I was grown in the West, but raised in my head, and I made my bed, and I'll lay in it. You'll get no complaints from this stick-up kid, though I'm often reminded of how uncomfortable it gets. But the succubus in which I confess in said that she's never laid in a more comfortable bed. And I'm the one to blame, because I'm the one with the messed up head that made her one to relate. Now it's 3 in the morning, and I'm stuck awake like, where are you? I got some stuff to say. And you're the only one to listen because you got no judgments, you got no expectations, yet you encourage rash hatred like you're right. You should have killed him. Quick, grab another tall can and chug from this 5th. We're going to get lit and make some decisions. From emotional to financial, from physical and personal, from inter to intra, from family to girls. The only resolution to it all is at 2 in the morning, she's the only girl I can call. And they say that people would rather ride with the devil than ride alone. And I'm a testament to this because I kick it with my demons. I even start to freak when I can't see them. You see, I keep my friends close, but I keep my enemies closer. I got mine riding across both shoulders. And they're constantly advising. I'm finding it's easier to listen than to focus. But before you know it, you're all alone. And home's just an oasis, a cohort to your own vessel. Someone once told me that my body is a temple, but that was years ago when it appears that life isn't so simple. It's a mystery to me how the hell it got this far, so I close my eyes, release the wheel, and memorize the sounds of my own crashing car. With the tires screeching, the smell of metal on fire, I'm laying on the ground now, looking up, thinking to myself, thank God it's over. Now here I am, talking to my God, but I think I'm too late. Wishing I could go back to try to do things a different way. Now here I am, talking to my God, but I think I'm too late. Wishing I could go back to do things a different way. Now here I am, talking to my God. Sorry, I don't like to introduce my poems, so that's the introduction for this one. My sobriety, it reveals what you lied to me, and I try to be what it is that you want your eyes to see, but something deep inside of me cries and fights with me in spite of all these tears I've shed, and all this blood I've bled, and all I've lost to all your needs, and you can't see what it means to me just to make you happy. My sobriety, it reveals what you lied to me. And I try to be what it is that you want your eyes to see, but something deep inside of me cries and fights with me in spite of all these tears I've shed and all this blood I've bled and all I've lost to all your needs. And you can't see what it means just to make you happy. I think I'll do one more if you guys don't mind. Is that all right? My brother in poetry, Joe. We have a show on the last Sunday of every month. Lee was our awesome feature, not last month, but the month previous to that. If you guys ever get a chance, check it out on Facebook, come by. It's an awesome gig. This gig is incredibly awesome as well. So before I do the last poem, one more time, thank you, Lee, for having me. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for the venue. Glory is for the horny. Personally, I don't need that shit. I'm too much a malcontent. You see, scoring is boring. I am in it for the story. One with multiple beginnings and twice as many endings. I'm set tripping on pages and pens like they're responsible for my contradictions and hypocrisies, having me laughing at the way that I hurt me. Now here I am, standing eye to eye with my attorney, while repeating, yeah, I'm thinking. I should just dip this courtroom in a hurry because this jury doesn't look empathetic to one who appears early, slurring. And breakfast this morning came in the form of 240s. And lunch just might not come till mañana. And bedtime just might come before my off-ramp. And I can't remember if I could pass a fucking drug test because these drug references have my head spinning. I'm not the type of person who describes shit without experiencing it. Call me savvy. Call me happy. Just call me. Or I'll call you, but that call could come collect, like this is Los Angeles County Detention with a collect call from Agent Motion. Princess, they popped me for possession of knowledge while remaining ethnic. Please don't pay the bail, just send snacks, because that is all that I can afford to pay back. And we both know how much you think I owe you already. Sometimes I awake, violently or sweaty. Whether or not that's behind bars or underneath sheets just doesn't matter anymore to me, because I will always be me. A little less broken, still motion, none the least. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
So Bobby is emceeing. You MC that show all the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He's emceeing a wonderful relatively new poetry gig that we have every month in Culver City. So tell us about that, Bobby.
That gig is twofold. It's more than just poetry. It's also sponsored by USVAA. So we get a lot of veterans there. It's this place for veterans as well as civilians to go up there and speak. I'm not a veteran, and I'm the MC. So it's open to everyone. You guys should come through, check it out. It's an awesome gig. It's really nice. Where? It's in Culver City. It's at the USVAA house. What street is that? It's on Culver Boulevard. It's off of Culver Boulevard. It's cool. The name of it is The Last Sunday. Go to Facebook, type in The Last Sunday. You guys will get all the information.
The Last Sunday, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Lee.
Thank you. Wonderful. All right. Nice big hand for Bobby Movemiento. Yeah, I really enjoyed my visit down there to that gang of guys and folks down there. And it's this wonderful family event. Jennifer and her mother and Joe and her mother, they do the refreshments, and everybody gets involved. And it's really a wonderful event. And I know Peter played down there too. So check it out if you get a chance. All right. How we doing so far? Pretty good? Yeah. All right. So next we have a woman who just turns up everywhere around here. I've known her for a long, long time. She's done gigs with us in Voice in the Well, and now she's doing gigs with me with Backstage Qumran. We've been doing shows about If the Shoe Fits, and focusing a lot of our efforts on, the privatization of prisons in the United States, and a special focus on solitary confinement. Carmen's involved in a lot of stuff. She works hard. She does poetry workshops and so on. Let's give a real warm welcome to Carmen Victorious Vega. Or Victorioso, or what is it? Victoriosa. Put that down for you.
Great. The funny thing is that the Victorious is incognito. I was trying to hide in Facebook. I don't want people to find me. That's why you hide, right? So now everywhere I go, people introduce me as Carmen Victorious. All right, I got to change that again. But thank you so much for inviting me to Storyphile. How is everybody doing? All right. All right. Yeah, all right. I'm going to do like a few short ones and then a couple long ones. And we'll see how it goes, okay? This one is inspired by my friend who was having a conversation with me earlier on this topic. But this is called, hi, baby. This is called longevity. She drops her babies in the warmth of the sandy shore. They hatch, their instincts intact. Some scurry and make it to the sea. Their life begins. Mother turtle swims to some faraway shore and rests raised high on a rock. Her tear ducts heavy, shed salt tears they fall. Cleanses her body of excess burdens, the weight of her ocean home. She is light now, and she swims to the salty sea, where she has chosen to live. Her Bauhaus square patterns adorn the carapace, thick and heavy. Longevity warrants resolve. She swims in a gentle stride. She rides the streams, collects the warmth of her surroundings. She has watched the giant dinosaurs come and go. She wears and bears wisdom 200 years, 200 million years old. Serenity, longevity, lessons to live and love by. Take life in stride. It is only a cycle. The agile ones that make it live long. That's okay, I like babies. Alien. Now this is just a toy for me. Alien, alien, little green toy. Alien, alien, little green boy. Alien, alien, little green toy boy. We play with the absence. We play with the toy boy. In the absence of joy boy, we play with a little green alien boy. If you feel so compelled, I thank you. I am your mist. I am the light crystal flake that falls upon your brow when the winter snow begins to fall. The rushing river that sweeps your face and smooths the rock's rough edges. I am the dew that softens your petals before sunrise. I am the lake on the foot of the hill, the ocean, salted liquid that flows in the depths of the crusted soil and fills the crevices of profundity. I am the serum in your veins, your balancer. I am the rain. I am the mist that cools the embers on your flesh. A rush ensues, and our essence rises heaven-bound. When we touch, the caress enjoins your flesh and mine. I am you. When your river flows, a new clear crevice is filled by our union. I am the serum in your veins, your balancer. I am the rain. Lake Nakuru, thank you. Lake Nakuru is Lake Nakuru. I was there. Is Lake Nakuru's stillness? Is Lake Nakuru's stillness, dense from heavy, saturated beds of salt that make its waters serene, stillness from centuries past, that only in its presence can you decipher it. Wisdom is universal peace. Galvanized kin. Have you ever been motivated to act? Has anyone ever had such an influence on you that you were moved to protest, to write, to join a pack? Has anything ever affected you so intensely that you organized yourself against it? Galvanized others to your cause, made a banner, marched, held a vigil, held a hand and said, "You're not alone. We walk together. We stand for what we believe in. We are one race. You are my kin. We stand for justice and peace." Thank you. And that became part of a montage that you can find on YouTube. It's called Peace Rally, Galvanized Kin, if you're so curious. And this was inspired by a wonderful artist that used to exhibit in the halls of Art Share before it was the way it is now. This used to be a big old open warehouse. And I performed here when there were like these bleachers here and not much else. It was fabulous, like the beginning of Art Share. It's so great to see the evolution of these spaces in our community. And I'm glad it's still here. This was like years ago. This was written in '99, so it's quite a while. Wooster's palette, an urn, a face, the Greeks in a carnival, from a Coca-Cola bottle's view, with a stratified rainbow in silent brushstrokes spreading thin and thick layers of spirit on canvas. Now my long poem called War Zone. We're losing sight of our enemies, the ones behind closed doors and ivory towers and glass enclosures. We've been at war. I saw it this morning when my mind cleared the propaganda and I opened my door. Neglected battle zones are fueled by rocks, supplied by an enemy that evades us, the ones we fail to seek, refusing to protect our most undernourished streets because it is no longer chic to pursue a wholesome existence. Our pueblos are dying. We're losing sight of the folks in the trenches, the vacant eyes of homeless children, abandoned buildings, drug-infested villages, shootings that leave innocent victims behind. Moms are barely winning the battles to keep their young ones alive. Look the other way to another terrain. Divert the anger rising from our failures. Blame the observer, the innocent. It's all their fault. create external monsters to cover the tracks of the delinquents back home. Our puppet regime isn't effective, but who's going to bring it down? Shoot the next one we see. Kill our defenses in a senseless battle against ourselves. Pain is an awful healer. When it detects sirens blare off at the point of neglect, best to shield off bullets than face your own soul. Silence the screams with louder bullets. I know there's a ray of hope in the stars for all who believe in salvation, the elixir, the balm that soothes and coats the anger and irritation better than a Molotov cocktail, bullets or bombs. The spark that dims within shall rise and be lifted. If you seek, you shall find sexual healing. Stop the war, stop. Because the only war worth fighting for is your own. Not for the love of God or the goddess. Not for the rocks you smoke at the masquerade ball or the ones you wear soiled with black lungs. But for the Genesis we call life. Dilapidated homes, neglected children, homeless mothers, starving babies, men without work. Our wrecked society wraps its soiled body in a tarp and rolls over to sleep off the hunger pains until the next morning. Billions are spent on one weapon's head instead of investing in me and in you. Our neighborhoods, education, health, homes, schools, clean water. I know there's got to be a better way than war. There's got to be a better way. Lead the way. You lead the way. Lead the way home without war. I can do a very short one, just because sometimes the mood just strikes me. Skin words. To drink, soup words that slide off your pores. Glide my eyes over your supple skin. I glide my eyes over your supple skin and I sigh. Thank you.
Actually, in Brazil, she can hardly walk the streets. She's so beloved and well known. But up here, we're just discovering her. So I'm glad to have, and let's give a nice warm welcome to Thalma de Freitas. And that's her baby walking around here too.
Thanks, Lee. Thank you for inviting me. I told him I miss stage and I miss working as actress. But then he asked me to sing, so okay. So storytelling, and I decided to tell the story how I end up here. By now you already know I'm married to B+. He was a best friend for a long time. And then it was 2012. And my idea, all my life I was waiting for 2012 because it's gonna be the shift of dimension and we're gonna move forward and suddenly some, I don't know, UFOs will show up in the sky and tell, hey guys, it's all good, you did it, you passed the test, it's over, the game is over and you can wake up now and we can move forward. And I was so happy that 2012 was there, and I have my best friend at the house telling him how desperate I was to have a baby and to move forward and to wake up in a home, in a family, and be able to create something new out of the person I was, but I was tired of being. And he was saying, yeah, man, me too, actually, but I already gave up. I don't think this is going to happen to me. I said, where is your wife, B? Where's your girlfriend? Where is your lover? Where's this girl? I'm trying to find somebody for you, but it's kind of hard because you're very specific. And he said, yeah, it's difficult because it's not about love. It's easy to love people. People are amazing, Everyone like so specific, with like personalities, identities, and everybody's so fascinating. But the difficulty is to find somebody that you feel comfortable enough to not think about if you're gonna spend the rest of your life with the person. You're just living and you're just being. The difficulty is not to find a passion. Difficulty is to find loyalty. Somebody that is loyal to you to the point that you don't have to worry if, there's no if. I know this person, this. And I said, yeah, you're so right. And then he told me, you know what? You choose very badly your mans. And I look at him and say, don't say that. I was happy. Say, no. This is like some frugal joy. Those are not your guys. It's very obvious. You don't really prioritize them, any of them. You think you do, but the first little problem and you just escape, you're not loyal to them. I said, because I don't love them. No, you love them. You love everybody. You're a very loving person. So it's not about love. It's about, why you wasting yourself and why you wasting your time, with this, just be alone. I said, but I'm alone. I said, no, be alone with yourself. Be in solitude and not, lonely with company. And I was kind of, okay. Then he left back to LA. And I started crying every day a little bit. I didn't really know why. But there was this something that woke up on me. And every time it came to talk to me, like, listen, I want to tell you something. I said, no. We're not gonna fuck up this relationship. He's my best friend. I love him. He's an amazing guy, and you're not gonna fuck him up. Shut up. And got back to my life. I wasn't rehearsing my play. I was working out, feeling sexy, not looking for anybody. I'm going to follow B's advice, and I'm going to be in peace with myself. That's very nice. And then he came back. Next trip, Brazil. He stayed in my house with a friend. And there wasn't enough space, so he would sleep in my bed with me. He's my best friend, It's that's simple as like sleeping with your brother, sleeping with, like my girlfriend. Okay, wake up, breakfast, get back home, coffee, and talking about life, and talking about art, and talking about what we're gonna do today. I wanna go dig albums. Again, B. Yeah, no, but you have to come with me because you're really going to love those guys, Chico and Zico. So we spent a day digging records, and it was amazing. And days passed by, and it was like amazing. You don't think, you just live, you're just being. He's your friend. You don't think. I wasn't trying to think. And then he left. And then I was crying a bit again. And then she came again. Thalma, you know what? No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Tell me again, why you don't want to know? I don't want to know because I really care about this guy. He's a really real friend. I know we are trouble, and we're going to make him crazy, and we're going to break his heart, and it's just like not happening. And then Thalma, the one in the mirror, look at me and say, you know what? Courage is something very important. We are very impulsive persons, and we can do like this, come here and not really prepare and just start talking about the story of our lives in front of a bunch of people that, I don't know you, but I want you guys to know me, like I'm bit selfish, and I'm not selfish. I'm just egocentric, and I love to like, whoo, me, 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 me. And it was like this, me, 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 me. And she said, you know what, courage is very important because you could actually learn to watch to others as you watch to yourself and care for others as you care for yourself. And if you really love this person, if he's really your friend, you should allow yourself to learn the practice of love with somebody that you don't see as a dream, you don't see as something that you fancy, you don't desire as a thing, is your friend, and you love him. And I bet he loves you back. I bet, and like I'm very positive that he loves you just like you love him. He sleeps with you every night, and he doesn't try to sleep with you because he respects you, and he really does. It's not as he's tripping. We don't know about his desires, but I'm pretty positive that he'll be very happy to sleep with you. But he's not going to try because you didn't give any sign. And he, you know, he's B, you know him. And I said, yeah, you think we're going to do this? Yeah, I think we're going for it. I said, okay. So, B is coming, February, almost Carnival. And I said, okay, we need to talk. Where are you going to be? I'm going to be in São Paulo. I'm going to go to São Paulo then. We need to talk. Okay, I meet you in São Paulo. Okay. Oh, guess what? This was, by the way, it was Skype messages. And he said, oh, by the way, you know that this Wednesday is the 29th of February, and it's a very special day in Ireland. Oh, really? What is it? Oh, it's a day that is a tradition that the girl can ask the guy to marry her. And I turned off my phone and my computer and start screaming in my house and walking all over the place. And my friend who lives with me said, what happened? You don't understand what he just wrote me. He said, and she was like, oh, you serious? I said, I never ever kiss him. I'm going to ask him to marry me? Is that simple? He's my best friend. I can't do that. This is like impulse. You're just being crazy, Thalma. Don't mind. It's fine. Go talk to him and just explain to him that you're sorry because you're very crazy and you have all those crazy thoughts in your mind. And it's fine. You're going to spend a nice day in Liberdade, São Paulo, and have a sushi. And then we're going to go buy records. And he's going to laugh on me. Everything's going to be amazing. Just like relax. Just tell him the truth and how crazy you are. I said, okay. And then I wait for him in the hotel. And he came in, and we haven't said anything, and he just kissed me. And I asked him, would you marry me? And he said, yes. And 9 months later, I was pregnant. And the pregnancy made me move here. I came to spend the Christmas with my best friend, boyfriend, and his family from Ireland that never actually came to visit him in the 23 years that he was living in town. And it was December 2012, shift of dimension. Let's change the world. Let's move forward. I always thought, if it doesn't happen to the world, that's at least going to happen to me because I'm asking with so much faith. And sure enough, he gave me an enchanted spermatozoid that turned into this beautiful little creature that you saw walking here on the stage. She's amazing. I came to spend a month. I came back 9 plus a year. Jesus Christ, I came back like almost 2 years later to my mother's house to the birthday of my girl. I never really looked back. My stuffs are still in my apartment in a storage I never came back. I just. Thank you for listening. Porque foste em minha alma a única esperança. Encontrar-te me fez criança. Porque já eras meu, sem eu saber sequer. Porque és o meu homem e eu tua mulher. Porque tu me chegaste sem me dizer que vinha, e suas mãos foram minhas com calma. Porque foste em minha alma como o amanhecer, porque foste o que tinha de ser.
Let's give a warm welcome to Jeff Rogers.
Thank you, Lee. I'm so pleased to be here. I'm so pleased to be a guest here at Storyphile. And thank you, Lee, for inviting me. As Lee said, I'm a poet. That's my primary art form. And the first poems that I ever loved were poems that told stories. And I still love story poems. So because this is Storyphile, I'm going to do a small group of poems that tell stories for you tonight. And I'm going to start with kind of a brief LA mosaic in 3-line poems from a series that I did online called 3-Line Lunch. For a couple of years, I kept a diary in 3-line poems posted each day at noon, thus the name 3-Line Lunch. So here's a small selection. We set out for a movie, but find ourselves winding up packed Sunday afternoon Griffith Park roads. On a bench halfway up, we hold hands, talk, kiss, gaze out at canyon cupped by finger ridges, hike up to observatory where, under dreamy stars on planetarium dome, in cushy chairs, we doze. Bum ritual. Each time I see him settled on sidewalk, exchange always goes the same. Can I bum a cigarette? Sorry, don't smoke. Don't start any bad habits. I got enough for both of us. Quandary of the beloved. He's so in love with me, she tells her girlfriend at the table next to mine at Verst Kucha. She hunches forward and drops her voice. Should I be worried? All trying. Walking around Silver Lake Reservoir, the norm seems to be little to no eye contact, which frees me to watch each runner, walker, in solitary contemplation. Young, old, worried, determined, grooving to earphones. I can see it so clearly. everyone's just trying to do their best. So we're going to shift a few hundred miles north for a slightly longer story. This is called Everything Alive Moving Makes a Sound. Redwood forest, night dark, and I am an animal in the mouth of my den. I am the stupidest animal in the forest, who struggles to decode even the simplest sounds of the life that everywhere surrounds me, where nothing alive, moving can be seen, and everything alive, moving makes a sound. The redwoods stand leafless stories tall before they lift their canopy to net the stars, mask the moon, and tamp down the dark, which pools among the damp ferns and sorrel gathered at their feet and noses down into the red blanket of shed bark and forest decay spread there. I am reverent in their prehistoric cathedral, but utterly ignorant of the murmured liturgy, chirped hymns, and reverberant psalms of its congregants everywhere, hidden in these honeycombed halls where everything alive, moving, makes a sound. I have come to the lip of my bombastic den, which blasts light and thudding, screeching sounds into the clearing and the wild night, well past my natural reach. This shelter of my species projects its protective shell to make me seem larger and more frightening than my weak, pale, furless, clawless, and fangless native form, like a porcupine's flared quills or a skunk's noxious fumes. On a platform of planks made from bones of the forest, I sit on a dirty white seat fashioned from the liquid remains of creatures millions of years dead, dredged up out of deep pockets in the rock halfway around the world from here in Mendocino, in Northern California, up on this hill half a mile from the ocean. I am the animal of the grand, clueless plan. House sitting for my absent friend, I fired up some Hendrix, cracked a beer, opened the sliding glass door, and came out to sit on this deck, awash in light from the house, to admire and commune with this redwood forest night dark. But the dark stayed away, and the redwood forest night retreated from my assault. So first, I turned off the music to invite the forest sounds closer. Again I sat, dullest and stupidest animal in the forest, so slow on the uptake, before I rose again to turn off every light in the house and creep back out onto the deck. Now at last my little den, dark and silent, recedes into the forest at my back. Even the sloshing and sipping of my beer has become offensive, a trespass. So I set it aside to listen to the quiet alive, and watch the patient dark. Water drips on leaves, small rodent rustles brush. Rodent? Snake? I don't even know what's out there. Somewhere in this forest are foxes, deer, bears maybe, even mountain lions. I am helpless to do what even the least life form here must learn early to survive. Separate and know the sources of the sounds that populate this world. I find the tiniest creatures make the biggest noise. Insect twillings and chizzings rise over gradual minutes, crash through the forest, crescendo and subside. The longer we sit in darkness, the more penetrating our eyes become. And the longer we sit in quiet, the more discerning our ears. In the background, the susurrus wind in the canopy. Wind known, farther back and below the wind, I can tease it out from past the edge of the redwood-crowned plateau, over the crest and half a mile down the ocean. Its vast breast swells all the way around the earth against every shore, with the long inhale, the slow exhale, the entire horizon rises and falls, deep rumble in chest, and I can hear the very earth breathing, because everything alive, moving, makes a sound. Thank you very much. I want to finish with one more short one. The thing is, with this one, I feel like it's kind of it's one of the three-line poems, but it's kind of a story that's too big for one voice. So I already figured that this was the right crowd to do this with, but Lee confirmed it by having us all sing together. What I'm going to do with this one is I want to do this one once through by myself. It's very simple, it's very short, it's very rhythmic. You'll pick up on the pattern right away. By the second time through, whoever's picked up on it, please join in. If it takes you 3 or 4 times, whenever you catch the wave, jump on and ride it with us. What I'm looking for is at least one good, rousing chorus of this thing before I gracefully leave the stage. This is called Where It All Goes. Where It All Goes. All that lives goes to die, and all that dies goes to feed all that lives. All that lives goes to die, and all that dies goes to feed all that lives. This is about life. Give me some gusto. All that lives goes to die, and all that dies goes to feed all that lives. One more time. All that lives goes to die, and all that dies goes to feed all that lives. Thank you very much.
All right, Jeff Rogers, yay! That was some good stuff. Boy, we've had some wonderful poets tonight, haven't we? And storyteller. Wow, what a night. And we've had you. Yeah. Yay. Oh, boy, I'm so happy. All right, we're going to cap off the night with some great music from some of the finest musicians in the Arts District. So let's give a warm welcome to our very own and sweet and wonderful Marissa Gomez and Reseda Wrigley. What's your last name? Mickey. Okay, here we go. We got the piano pulled out for you, Reseda. Do you need a microphone? Sure. All right, we're going to cap off the night with some great music from some of the finest musicians in the Arts District. So let's give a warm welcome to our very own and sweet and wonderful Marissa Gomez and Reseda Wrigley Mickey. Okay, here we go.
Mama goes where Papa goes, but Papa don't go out tonight. Mama goes 'cause Mama knows he can't be trusted out of her sight. Mama's got a feeling that she must be near, just to help her keep her Papa's conscience clear. That's why Mama goes where Papa goes. Oh, Papa, don't go out tonight. Here's your bedroom slippers and your favorite pie, your yellow bathrobe with a purple stripe. Here's your armchair, the book that you read, and here's your loving Mama. I got everything you need. I'm going lots of fellas and you ain't the worst, but I think in terms of safety first, any clever gal will admit I'm right. If you wanna teach your man better right inside, that's why Mama goes where Papa goes. Oh, Papa, don't go out tonight. Teacher used to tell me when I went to school,